Task today is going to be to design your own custom wheels for some toy cars that the woodshop students are going to be making. So you have some specific constraints that you have to adhere to, and I'll give you those numbers. But other than that, you're going to make a custom designed wheel. Okay, so you can see here we have a cylinder that has then been extruded. We have it's flat on the bottom here so that it has a good surface to 3D print from. And then this top is concave, all prints faster, uses less material. And then we've got this circular pattern idea here. There are millions of different ways to do this. I'm going to show you one way, and then I want you to explore your own design. So I'm going to create a new tab here, a new Part Studio. I am going to hit that Shift S and hit the top plane and then hit N. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the planes by hitting P. I'm going to hit the C tool to give me a circle. I'm going to draw this circle. Now you have some room here. We can go anywhere between 40 millimeters all the way up to 50 millimeters. So basically you have about 1.5 to 2 inch diameter size for our wheel. So you get to choose that. I'll just leave mine at 50 for now. Okay, so that's going to be the outside of my wheel. Okay, the other number that you don't have room on is this inner number. This is where the axle is going to go into the wheel, and we need that to be 4.8 because we have a specific size of axle that we will be using, and so that must fit tightly into the wheel. So as far as your constraints go, you have anywhere between 40 and 50 on your diameter for the outside, and then 4.8 must be the inner axle here. So this will be a hole to receive the axle. Okay. So once we have our outer diameter and our inner diameter, I'm also going to make, on this particular design, I'm going to make another diameter here. This doesn't really matter. This is just going to be the thickness of the actual tire or wheel, so to speak. And then I'm going to do a pattern here on the inside here. So this will all be filled in with 3D printing on the outside, and then we'll have a design on the inside here. If you look on this one, I'm talking about this outside edge here. Okay, so there's actually something to 3D print. So from this point, I'm going to get a line tool by hitting L, and I'm going to hit construction to get that dotted line, just so that I have something to line this up with. I'm going to go ahead and use a circle. I want this circle to be on the inner ring here. So I'm going to click my circle tool, which is C, click right here on this intersection, and make a circle. Let's take this, let's go 18 on this. Oh, see how that line is dotted? That means I still have my construction selected. So I'm going to hit escape, click back on this, and then hit Q again, and that will give that a solid color now. Okay, so I'm going to hit the M key, and I'm going to trim off these parts that I don't need. I just want this semicircle on the inside of my rim here. Okay, so from this point, I can go ahead and use my circular pattern tool. You might have the linear pattern showing up here. Click that down arrow, hit circular pattern. You can also come over here to search tools. Type in first letters and find your tool. Okay. So what do I want to pattern? I want to pattern this semicircle here. I'm going to hit this line here. Notice it's going to show up. Zoom out there. I've got 3 repeating. I'm going to go to 5 pattern. So it's going to do it 5 times. It's going to multiply it 5 times. I could do 7. I can change this until I like it. But I think 5 is going to be good for me. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And now what I can do is I can go ahead and accept the sketch, or I can right now hit Shift E. Either one will work just fine. Right now it's just taking that outside edge. I also want this inside edge here. So now you can start to see that I'm going to have a wheel. Okay, our thickness on our wheel, this is another constraint you have to stick to. This is going to be 14 millimeters, so just over ½ inch. That'll give us some nice substance there. So now I have the beginnings of my wheel. Now this is a very basic wheel. From here I've got some options. I could do a fillet. I could do it just on the outside edge. Let's say we take this to 2 millimeters to kind of get that rounded. I could do the bottom as well. Okay, we're starting to look more and more like a wheel. If you took this up just a little bit more, all right, you might see that it's really starting to look better. Okay, maybe it's just looking like a cookie. I don't know. Let me show you something cool you can do going the other direction. I'm going to turn my plane back on. And to make an indentation, kind of like I have on this one where it is kind of scooped out, so to speak, or concave in there, we're going to use the revolve feature that we did on the fidget spinner. But we're going to use it as a remove. So I'm going to go back over here. I turn my planes back on because I'm going to actually draw onto this right plane. So it's going to be perpendicular to the tire or the wheel itself. So I'm going to hit a new sketch, and I'm going to select the right plane. Okay, so you can see now that that sketch is going to go directly across there. I'm going to go ahead and turn this part off for right now. Okay. Actually, I'm not yet. I'm going to hit this here. I just need to see a height here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a construction line, L and a Q. I don't want to start this line down here at the origin because that would scoop out all the way down there. So I'm just going to bring this up, about halfway. Click a line and go there. All right, so I'm going to hit escape, get rid of that construction line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some sort of geometry that will, I don't want it to extend too far past this rim, or we'll actually cut out the outside of the tire. Just kind of want to scoop out the inside here. So let's hit that normal again. Let's just go with a line. Make sure construction is off. So I'm going to kind of draw this line actually right here on top of this. We can go up. It doesn't matter how far we go up. Just want to get above the tire. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to hit escape to get rid of my line tool. And I'm going to use this. You can do any of these arc tools and just kind of play around with them. You can do a 3-point arc, which means I'm going to set 1 point here, 1 point here, and then I can kind of change the radius here. Kind of make it steep or not steep, so on. I'm going to, let's just do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and accept this sketch. I'm going to turn this off so you can see what we've drawn there. We've just drawn this. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to use this shape, and I'm going to use the revolve tool. I'm going to remove, and my revolve axis is going to be this center construction line we drew, and my merge scope is part 1, so it's going to remove from part 1. Okay, and when I accept that, you'll see that I now get a little, I'm going to turn the planes off by hitting P, kind of get a little indentation there. You can get as crazy as you want with your geometry on that revolve. But we do need one side to be flat. So you see here this bottom side is flat. That way we have a good edge to 3D print from. Now if you want, this hole does not have to go all the way through like you see on mine here. It is actually solid on the front side and open on the back. Okay, that is just using this same size hole and doing an extrude and add. That way it doesn't go all the way through. As you see on this pattern, let me show you my sketch here. My sketch here, these are just individual lines. I drew an individual line and then repeated that pattern all the way around. I drew this line and repeated that pattern all the way around. And then I drew this arc and repeated it. So I only drew it once and then used my circular pattern tool. And you'll see that I repeated this pattern 9 times. So you can kind of get some really unique and individual shapes. I have control over where this goes and how skinny those are. I'm only moving the point that was repeated. If I come over here, it just gets messed up. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. But if I go to the original point, so this was the original shape I made. If I click on that, I can change my geometry and keep it together. Okay, so from here, I want you to make your own wheel. Be as simple or as unique as you want. I think this one needs some more work, but I can work on that later. I could add a fillet to this edge here, kind of soften this. So even just adding that kind of makes it look more like spokes. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that. Now, So just adding that one little feature there really changed it a lot. So once you're done, we will rename these and export them as an STL, and we will get them printed, and hopefully you'll get to see your designs on a car soon.